This is a demo that Caroline sent me. This is Caroline. She's great. We love Caroline.
I get a vision, a parallel life, colors seem brighter, we don't scream when we fight.
I was obsessed when I heard the demo. I thought the lyrics were so good, her voice is so good, it was so pretty, it felt so intimate. We just wanted to take what was there and make you feel it a little bit more.
I get a vision of a parallel life where the colors seem brighter and we don't scream when we fight.
I would say that the final version of this song lives somewhere in the world of like Gabrielle Aplin. I can never say her name. Is that how you say it? 𝐿ÉON and Nina Nesbitt, who I used to rock out to on my iPod. So getting to produce a song like this was so fun. Think acoustic guitars, soft vocals, just like a dreamy, summery vibe. It's so pretty. I love it. I love producing songs like this. So let's go to the computer. Have I said that the song is called Parallel Life? I don't remember. If I didn't, that's what it's called. So like I said, keeping the original vibe of the demo was really important. I wanted to make sure we kept those acoustic guitars at the forefront of the production. So what I did was I retracked Caroline's acoustic guitar parts, just cleaned it up a bit, added some more dynamics, and double tracked them left and right to create a nice wide stereo image. And here's what those sound like. You can hear the one on the left and the one on the right. They're played exactly the same, but obviously when you play something, you're gonna play a little bit differently every time. That's just like human nature. So it creates this nice stereo image. And then in the choruses, it switches from a finger picking to more of just like a straight strum. So you can hear that here. But same idea, hard pan left and right. Again, create that stereo image. We want everything to feel like it's surrounding the vocal. Then we go back to the finger picking in the verse. And I actually palm muted it a bit more just to create some cool interplay with the percussion that we'll talk about a little bit later. And then we go back to these strums in the chorus, back to them. They sound good, we went right back. That's kind of it for the acoustic guitars. Very simple, like I said, like the demo. They're like the demo on purpose. We wanted to just take that, spice it up a little bit, put a little nice hat on the demo. And then we build upon those acoustics by introducing some electric guitars in the second half of the song. These are just super washy electric guitars. What I'm doing is I'm just running them through a guitar amp sim with a ton of reverb, and that just washes them out and makes them feel more like an atmosphere or a texture, which is very common in these like indie pop styles. It's very atmospheric, very textural, which is kind of the whole vibe of this song, right? Like it's called Parallel Life, kind of dreamy, you're kind of dreaming about this thing, so you want it to feel like that. But here are those electric guitars. Nice and washy, and then you pair them with the acoustics. Just gives it a nice second rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. So cool. And then later on in the bridge, which is the biggest moment of the song, which we'll talk about more when we get to vocals, I introduce a second guitar part, again, just to kind of keep building this world, keep adding some more textures to it. And then I'm just doing single strums and then building the rhythm. So again, so simple. All these guitars are really simple, and I love that. While we're on the topic of keeping it simple, the bass is so simple. It's literally just doing root notes, following the root notes of the chords, and it really just is there to provide some low end in the choruses. I didn't feel like this song was a song that really called for a bass line or anything crazy, but I just wanted you to be able to feel it when those choruses hit. So here's the bass by itself. But that's it. Just following the root. And this is just a serum sound with some saturation on it to get it to cut through a bit more on your phone speakers, but you probably still can't hear it very well on your phone speakers because that's the way of the world. So listen on headphones, please. It'll sound better, I promise. And then that bass with the guitars is going to sound like this. Let me put these electric guitars in so you can hear everything together. So we've got the acoustic guitars as kind of the foundation, and then the bass supporting that, and then the electric guitar as like a nice little accent. Something that I've noticed a lot in these artists that I referenced earlier is that all the percussion and the drum elements are very simple, but they are very driving at the same time. So they keep the song moving along, and so that's what we did here. Let me start by playing you kind of the first intro of percussion in the song, which is in the second verse. It's just this filtered loop that I got off of Splice. I used an EQ to get it super filtered, so it's all really just low end, and it's really rhythmic, and it plays super nicely with those acoustic guitars in the second verse that I talked about earlier. So let me actually just play both together so you can hear the vibe. So it kind of creates this nice groove. And then what we did is introduced a nice reverby snare. So good. And then the kick, snare. It's very simple. It's just driving us along. It feels really good. So then in the second chorus, that's where we really introduce some more drums, keeping it pretty straightforward, just giving it that driving groove. This is just a Contact sample library for drums that I stemmed out. I don't know which one. I don't know, but they sound good. I wanted these ones to feel really soft, so that way when the bridge kicks in a second, it smacks in the face. So these ones are really nice and soft. And I rolled off some of the top end just to make them not as bright. And that was just like classic finger drums on the MIDI keyboard. And those drums are paired with the kick and the reverby snare from earlier. I actually kept that going through the rest of the song. They're so cool. How could you say goodbye to them when they're so cool and they do so much? So let me add those back in so you can hear drums plus kick and snare. See, it makes them not so puny. Is puny a word people still say? That sounds really cool, but we want the bridge to fucking bam, whack ya in the face. So I switched out the sample library we were using. We're using Modern to Massive from 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 drums, formerly known as 𝐃𝐭 drums. I think they're just 𝐃𝐨 now. Doesn't matter. But these drums are so much more beefy, and that's what we wanted in this verse. And I'm still rolling off some high end like I did in the chorus drums, just not as much. Sorry, I just hit my mic. And let me play those for you by themselves. So they're a lot rockier. But then we put our kick and snare back, our good friends, and it kind of popifies it a bit. And then I have this washy ride, just to kind of sit on top of everything, and then the shaker. And I think percussion textures like that too help it feel a bit more indie pop adjacent rather than like a rock song. I think it kind of just pulls you back into a world where it feels more like a band is playing around you rather than like a rock band is playing at a stadium, if that makes sense. It just feels more intimate, at least to me, because I imagine like a bunch of guys standing around shaking the shaker. That don't. Drums, guitar, and bass are definitely the foundation of the song, but I think in a genre like this, you cannot forget about the atmosphere and the textures. And so let me play the chorus into the bridge with no synth textures, no ambience, just so you can hear where we're living without those things. So it sounds super cool. We have the basis of the track there. And we're already getting some atmospheric texture from that electric guitar that I talked about earlier. Let me solo these synths for you. I had to print these to audio so my computer wouldn't literally die, but most of these are from either Serum or Analog Labs or Arcade. Those are kind of my go-tos. And so by itself, these synths are going to sound like this. Breaking down kind of what we got in there, we've got this felt piano, which is from Una Corda. And then we've got this lower synth part, which is really nice. And then these two guys right here are just doing nice chords, which is most likely from like a Juno thing from Arturia. And then I printed some of those sounds together and reversed them just to kind of create some like swelling in the bridge, which is so nice. It just gives it a little bit more movement. And that is it for the synths. Let me play it again, going into it so you can kind of hear the difference. They do so much. They make the world. They create a parallel life, if you will. And then with the synths, it just feels so much bigger and fuller, but you're also not doing too much, and I think that is the perfect thing that this song needs. Let's talk about vocals now, because I think a good vocal, especially on a song like this, is so important. You need a good vocal. Caroline actually lives in Nashville, and I do not. And so my good friend 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐿 is an awesome producer. She lives in Nashville. Well, she doesn't anymore. She lives here, which is better for me. But Kara lived in Nashville at the time, and so I had Caroline go and record these vocals with Kara because I knew they would sound really good, Kara would do a great job, and be nice to Caroline, and that is what is important. So they handled recording them and sent me all the takes, and we put it together from there. So here is the completely dry vocal that I got from Kara and Caroline.
Darling, yes, I still think of you in secret, so no one knows.
It sounded great. Caroline is nailing her performance. And then if we fly over to the chorus, same thing, nailed it.
Sometimes
She just ramps up the energy.
wish I could change things, could bend the rules of time and rearrange things.
That vocal was recorded great. I wanted these vocals to feel like they were in a big washy space, so I added in a room reverb, some delay, and an even longer reverb just to make it feel like it was recorded in a room, but also it's like so washed out. It's so pretty, you'll hear it.
Vision of a parallel life where the colors seem bright.
So that creates so much dimension for the vocal.
I'd like to meet you.
So that's the effects, and then in terms of what I actually did for the processing on the vocal, I really just wanted to clean up what was there. I didn't want it to be too processed. I wanted it to still feel pretty lively. I just wanted to clean up the low end, control the S's, and then just control the dynamics a bit. Since this was recorded in like a home studio, there was a little bit more like surgical stuff that I wanted to do just to clean it up, and then boost some high end on this Pultec, do some compression and some more de-essing because I hate S's. S's can die. I actually did a lot of de-essing on this song, which is just what it needed. There's actually 3 stages of de-essing. The S's were probably bothering me, and so I said, you gotta go. And so if you look at it while that's playing,
I get a vision of a parallel life where the colors seem brighter and we don't scream when we fight.
they're all doing like 2 to 3 dB, and that is so much better than doing, I guess, what, 9 dB on one? If you do 9 dB on one, it's gonna sound like you have a lisp or you have like a piece of gum in your mouth. It doesn't sound good. So splitting it up like that and splitting up where you do it in your chain helps it feel more natural, and you can just kind of control it bit by bit. So as you do things to your signal, you kind of keep controlling the S's. That's just the way I like to do it. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, I'm not. So let me play the lead vocal again in context so you can kind of hear it with the processing and the effects.
You sometimes move through my days like it's a breeze now.
And that delay is creating this nice rhythm that fills in those spaces.
Of the magic from the highlights left.
So good. Caroline, your voice is so good if you're watching. I'm sure you are. Love your voice. So good. You slay. Let's talk about some background vocals. Caroline and Kara absolutely popped off on these vocals. I was so stoked when I got them. They do so much. They are the epitome of good vocal production, good ear candy. And Kara is so good at vocal production and Caroline is so good at singing. So let me stop hyping them up and let me just play some of these little things they added. So cool. All that is basically is just a harmony stack. Each harmony is recorded twice, so they are panned. So there's one take of each harmony in the respective side of your headphone, which makes it feel nice and wide. That's just getting sent to a background vocals bus that has a ton of reverb and delay on it. And then we have a few moments like that throughout the rest of the song. The same thing happens again in the second pre-chorus. So nice. And since that is like the hook of the song, that's the title, having that accent there is so impactful because it makes you remember that phrase even more. And then you think, what was that song called? Parallel Life with the pretty harmonies. And then you stream it on Spotify. And then we did a similar thing here with some hms. This one though, I added some tremolo to it, so it kind of gives it that shaky thing, which is just like modulating the volume. That's a thing that's become really popular because of Billie Eilish in the last few years. It gives it a nice effect that you wouldn't get if there was no tremolo. So let me actually play with and without so you can kind of hear what it's actually doing. And then without it, still cool, but you still got that washy verb, but the tremolo just gives it some rhythm. So sick. In the first half of the song, Caroline didn't do any doubles. We wanted to keep it pretty chill still until we start building the production. So this lines up with when we introduce that drum kit. We introduce some doubles and some harmonies in the chorus. So she's doubling the lead 3 times.
Sometimes I wish I could change things.
And then a high harmony 3 times. 1 in the center, left, right. That's kind of the format we did these harmonies, just to make them a little fuller.
Sometimes I wish I could change things.
And then the low harmony sounds like this.
Sometimes I wish I could change things.
Altogether, those doubles and harmonies sound like this.
Sometimes I wish I could change things.
And then we do the same structure for the doubles and harmonies in the bridge. We do the doubles, the high harmony, the low harmony, and then we also introduce some little ad-libby guys. Let me play just a snippet of that. And since this part is a lot more powerful in the lead, the doubles and the harmonies are performed to kind of match that energy, so they are louder than the chorus ones.
But it'd be the light of a lifetime to say I don't miss the way.
On these vocals, I also added in way more delay because I wanted it to feel super washy and just like, it's the moment. This bridge is the moment of the song. And so adding that delay just gave it some more fun, some more funness. And we also introduced this ah pad, which I love a good vocal pad. Basically, she just sang. Basically, she just sang. This vocal pad that is introduced in the bridge is really cool too. I think it kind of blurs the line between synth and vocal, which I absolutely love. I think it does so much. I'm going to play it by itself for you so you can hear what's going on. So these ahs we added in to kind of fill in the rest of the chorus without it having to be a synth layer. I thought it would be cooler if it was a vocal thing. And so with the lead vocal in the bridge, this is what these vocal pads sound like.
I moved on to fresher days. Natural light, I'm finding my way.
Another thing about this vocal pad, since the bridge is so much louder, Caroline is pulling off the mic a good amount just so she doesn't clip, which is the correct thing to do. But you can hear the room in these takes a little bit more. And so having this vocal pad helped kind of disguise that that was happening, because the choruses and the verses, you're way closer to the mic, you feel it, you get a lot more low end in your voice, and then you pull off the mic, and it kind of loses some of that fullness. And so having these vocals underneath kind of fill in those gaps, make it feel like you're not missing anything, which is really helpful. And then Kara actually did these green ones, delay ones, which add even more rhythm and texture, which I'll never say no to some cool rhythm and texture. They are so cool. And they just have even more delay and reverb and kind of just swirl underneath the main ahs. Let me play that. And then all together with the vocal. And hey, I'll even give her the production. I love the part. The part's so fucking cool.
You're the best time, you're the worst day of my life.
Singer! No, Caroline is so good at ad-libs and just like cool vocal stuff, so that was amazing. But I think that's it. I'll see you when I go back over to the other angle. I absolutely love working on songs like this. I think it's really cool to be able to take the song from where it started and recognize that's the core of it, and then kind of just enhance it with cool production and vocals and just build the world. It's so nice. It's so cool. It's so fun. If you're an artist and you make music similar to this, I love producing it, so leave a comment on this video or send me a message. There's a bunch of links in the description to do that, because I would love to hear what you're working on and see if I could help you in any way bring your song baby to life. I hope you enjoyed watching how we produced this song, Go Stream Parallel Life by Caroline. Right now, I dare you. Okay, love you, bye.